Outlander just dropped the biggest twist in its entire run. Yes, even bigger than Claire traveling through time, or Jamie surviving Culloden. Because now, as we head into Season 8, everything we thought we knew about life, death, and destiny in this universe is being ripped apart. Faith Fraser, Claire's daughter, who tragically died in Season 2, might actually be alive. And if that's true, it's not just a game changer, it's a timeline breaker. Combine that with Jamie's fate hanging by, a thread the Revolutionary War erupting all around them, and characters vanishing from the final season, and what we're left with is a brutal, emotional, and possibly magical finale. New spoilers leaked from production insiders and hinted at in cast interviews suggest this isn't just the end of Outlander, it's the beginning of something far darker, far deeper, and completely unexpected. The twist about Faith Fraser still sends chills down my spine. We all remember the raw heart shattering grief Claire experienced back in Season 2 when she lost her firstborn daughter in Paris. It was one of the show's most emotional moments, and for years we accepted that loss as fact. But now, as Season 8 approaches the trailer and leaked spoilers, hint at something unthinkable. Faith may have survived. There's no confirmation on how yet, but several clues point to time manipulation or some form of magical intervention. Some fans are convinced that Faith was taken by forces unknown. Maybe even the same time travelers who manipulated events in earlier seasons. Others believe Claire's latent abilities may have created a rift, one that pulled Faith out of our timeline and into another. This changes Claire's entire arc. Her pain, her guilt, and her identity as a healer. It's all wrapped up in that one devastating loss. If Faith returns, how will Claire cope with that? Will she see her daughter again as a child, as an adult, or as someone who doesn't even know who she is? And let's not ignore the fact that this twist was never part of the books. Diana Gabaldon hasn't written a single word that suggests Faith is alive, which means the show is going off-book, and that's always dangerous territory. But it also means the writers have complete freedom. They can reshape Claire's story in ways we've never imagined. And let's not forget what Caitriona Balfe said in a recent interview. She called it an interesting cliffhanger and said it opens up a whole new world of questions. That's not something you say about a hallucination or a dream. That's something you say when a character is really coming back. So now the question isn't just whether Faith is alive, it's why she's back now. What purpose does her return serve in this final chapter? Is she the key to Jamie's survival? To Claire's destiny? Or is her return going to unravel everything Claire and Jamie have fought for? What scares me the most is how emotional this season is shaping up to be. Claire will have to relive the worst trauma of her life. And if she discovers that Faith lived but was taken from her, hidden or stolen, then that grief will turn into rage. She's already lost so much. If she has to fight the past itself just to find peace, this final season may break her. And let's not forget magic in the Outlander universe always has a price. Claire's abilities are becoming more important than ever, but using them, especially, to rewrite the past could come with devastating consequences. Could saving Faith put Jamie at risk? Could it tear the fabric of time apart? It's not just Claire's storyline that gets flipped upside down. With Faith's return, everyone around her will feel the impact. Jamie, who never got to meet his daughter Brianna, who suddenly isn't an only child, and Roger, who may realize that time travel isn't just about going back, it's about rewriting fate. This twist is more than just emotional. It's existential. It forces every character to ask if time can be changed. What else have we gotten wrong? And speaking of loss, let's talk about Jenny Fraser. Because while Faith might be returning from the dead, Jenny is gone. And not in a mysterious, magical way. In a cold, final, behind-the-scenes way. Co-showrunner Matthew B. Roberts confirmed that Jenny won't be appearing in Season 8. The reason? Not enough time. Only 10 episodes left in the series, and the writers had to make some painful cuts. That's understandable, but it stings. Jenny has been a cornerstone of Jamie's story since Season 1. She's his sister, his fiercest ally, and one of the only people who ever stood toe-to-toe with him emotionally. To end Outlander without her feels like tearing a page out of a family photo album. It feels incomplete, and it makes me wonder, what other characters won't be getting the endings they deserve? Faith's possible return, Jenny's confirmed absence, time travel chaos, magical consequences. That's just the beginning season 8. Hasn't even aired, and already it's shaking everything we thought we knew about this world. But if you think that's intense, wait until you hear what's coming next. Because Jamie Fraser is about to face his greatest trial yet. And this time, Claire may not be able to save him. Jamie Fraser has survived war betrayal, prison, and time itself. But in season 8, it finally feels like the end is closing in. The trailer shows glimpses of cannon fire, bloodied uniforms, and a haunted look in Jamie's eyes we haven't seen before. According to leaked production notes and insider reports, Jamie's storyline this season is a brutal march toward destiny. He's no longer just fighting for his land or his people, he's fighting against history itself. Because as the Revolutionary War explodes across the colonies, Jamie finds himself on the losing side once again. He's seen this before at Culloden, where he almost died for a cause that crumbled. Now, he's older, wiser, but the stakes are even higher. He's not just risking his life, he's risking Claire's, Brianna's, and everything they've built. And worse, he might already know how it ends. One of the most disturbing spoilers hints that Jamie's vision, his dream from earlier seasons where he saw Claire in the future, might be more than a dream. Some believe Jamie has always had a connection to time just like Claire. Maybe not. The ability to travel, but the ability to feel the weight of it. If that's true, then his actions this season may not be driven by hope. They may be driven by dread. There's a moment in the trailer where Claire calls out his name through smoke and chaos, but Jamie doesn't turn around. It's quick, easy to miss, but it tells us everything. He's preparing for something final, something he doesn't expect to walk away from. Another spoiler, this one, from an anonymous extra on set, claims that one of the battle sequences filmed for season 8 was the most intense and tragic scene they've ever worked on. The scene allegedly features Jamie alone on the battlefield, surrounded by bodies as he holds something in his hands, a letter possibly, or an object connected to Claire. It's not confirmed, but if true, that means Jamie may be separated from Claire in the middle of war. And if you know anything about their story, that kind of separation isn't just physical. It's emotional devastation. What's worse is that the series might be preparing us for the unthinkable, Jamie's death. We've avoided it for 8 seasons. Every time we thought we might lose him, he came back stronger. But this time, the tone is different. The writers are preparing for a finale, and finales always come with sacrifice. In Diana Gabaldon's book, Series, Jamie's fate is still uncertain, but she has teased for years that the story would end where it began, with Jamie's ghost watching Claire in the 1940s. That ghost theory has haunted fans since season 1. And now it might finally come. Full circle. Imagine this: Jamie dies in battle, but his presence lingers. His soul remains tied to Claire's across centuries. That would explain the ghost, the visions, and his unnatural pull toward her, even when she's not near. It would also mean their love story, as painful as it is, was always meant to be tragic. But here's the twist. What if Claire's abilities can bring him back? If Faith is alive because of time distortion or supernatural intervention, could Claire change Jamie's fate? 2, could she go back just one more time and fix everything? But even if she can, should she? That's the dilemma. Season 8 keeps circling fate versus free will love versus sacrifice history versus hope. Claire might have the power to alter time, but at what cost? And what does it mean for the future? Especially for Brianna and Roger's children, who now carry the time travel gene. As the war rages, Jamie becomes a symbol of resistance, of loyalty, and of tragic destiny. Every choice he makes in season 8 feels final. He's no longer just the brave Highlander. He's the heart of this world. And if that heart stops beating, what happens to everyone left behind? The war for America is only the beginning. Because in season 8 of Outlander, the true battle is for time itself. The Revolutionary War rips through the colonies with brutal force, but behind the muskets and bayonets, a darker threat is rising, one that could shatter the entire Fraser family. According to leaked spoilers from crew reports and fan insiders, season 8 doesn't just focus on the war outside, it dives deep into the war within. Time is unstable. Portals are opening in places no one expected, and someone dangerous is trying to control them. This new villain isn't a soldier. He's something far worse. Some fans believe he's connected to the mysterious group. Known as the Timekeepers, a hidden faction teased in Gabaldon's extended lore. Others think he might be an older version of a character we already know, someone who's traveled too far too often and broken something in the process. But the leaks agree on one thing: this man knows how to manipulate time. And he's not doing it to save lives. He's doing it to erase the past and rewrite the future. Brianna and Roger are at the center of this timeline crisis. Their journey. Back to the Future wasn't an escape. It was a warning. In Season 8, we'll see them uncover secrets buried for centuries. The stones are no longer the only way to time travel. There are other portals, and some of them are unstable, shifting between centuries without warning. And worst of all, their children, especially Jemmy, may be key to it all. Leaked photos from the set showed Brianna holding what looked like an ancient map covered in Gaelic runes and strange markings. Fans believe it's a guide to all the time portals across the world, created long before Claire ever touched the stones. But why does this matter now? Because the villain wants to control time itself, and the Fraser family stands in his way. He's targeting their bloodline, and if he can manipulate key events, kill someone before they were meant to live, or stop a traveler from ever crossing, he could wipe them from history. One insider report claims there's a chilling scene in Episode 6, where Brianna realizes someone has altered the timeline. A person who once existed no longer does. And that person might be Claire. That's the terrifying possibility Season 8 leans into. That the war isn't just physical or emotional, it's cosmic. Time travel, which once felt like a miracle now, feels like a curse. Every jump through the stones, every ripple in history has left cracks, and now those cracks are breaking wide open. If the villain succeeds, the events of the entire series could be undone. Jamie and Claire may never meet. Brianna may never be born. Faith's return may never happen. Everything hangs by a thread. And it's not just the Fraser family fighting back. Jenny Fraser's disappearance early in the season may be linked to this timeline crisis. Some believe she's been pulled through time without warning, becoming a pawn in this greater war. Others believe she chose to vanish, to protect someone. Either way, her absence is deeply felt, and it throws Jamie into a spiral of grief and fury that pushes him closer to the edge. Season 8 isn't holding back. The stakes are no longer just life and death, they are existence and erasure. What would you sacrifice to protect the people you love across centuries? What happens when your memories begin to fade, not because you forgot, but because time is changing around you? What if the dead never truly left? What if the cries of a child once thought lost still echoed through time? That's the chilling question Season 8 of Outlander dares to ask, because according to leaks from anonymous insiders tied to post-production edits, Faith Fraser, Claire and Jamie's first daughter, isn't gone. Not in the way we believed, and her return, it will change everything. Faith's death in Paris devastated Claire. It broke something in her soul. But now whispers across fan forums and deep dive script rumors claim there's more to the story. Faith didn't die, she disappeared. Not in body, but in time. A fracture in the timeline triggered by Claire's early exposure to the stones and her traumatic childbirth may have pulled Faith away. She wasn't taken by death. She was taken by time itself. One theory suggests she was raised elsewhere, in another century, under another name. And she's been watching, waiting. The haunting part? Faith may have already appeared in the series, hidden in plain sight. Leaked casting details describe a new female character introduced mid-season, Genevieve, a healer with knowledge of herbs, visions, and strange memories that don't match her time. Fans believe she is Faith, aged, shaped by a different century, but drawn back to her origins by forces she doesn't understand. Some claim her arrival triggers strange visions in Claire, visions of the past, and glimpses of the future. But Faith's return isn't a simple reunion, it comes with devastating consequences. A prophecy passed down by a time-traveling seer speaks of the child born of sorrow, whose blood shall bring the end and the beginning. Jamie learns of this prophecy after meeting a dying French soldier, one who claims to have known Claire in a different timeline. The soldier warns him, "Your daughter lives, but if you find her, the war will find you." It's a chilling omen, because if Faith returns, someone else will too. The villain we spoke of before, he may be her protector, or worse, her captor. And this is where the betrayal begins. One of Jamie and Claire's closest allies is working against them. This betrayal, heavily teased in episode outlines shared on industry sites, cuts deeper than anything we've seen before. Some believe it's Lord John Grey manipulated by love and loss. Others suspect Fergus driven mad by grief and resentment. But the betrayal leads to disaster. It causes the timeline fracture to deepen and forces Jaime to make the hardest decision of his life, choose between saving Faith or protecting the future. Claire, torn between her duty as a mother and her love for Jaime, begins to unravel. She feels the guilt all over again, the fear, the loss, the desperation. But now there's a new weight. What if finding Faith costs them Brianna? Or Jemmy? Or Jaime himself? The timeline cannot hold all of them. Someone must be left behind. This is where everything comes to a breaking point. The secrets, the time travel, the betrayals, they all lead to one final war. And it's not just a war of guns or politics. It's a war for time itself. The prophecy that's haunted this season becomes reality. Faith's return has cracked something deep in the timeline. Realities are colliding, futures are bleeding into pasts, and Claire must make a decision no wife, no time traveler should ever face. To save one, she must lose another. According to the latest leaks, the final episodes of Outlander Season 8 take us into the heart of a timeline collapse. Everything becomes unstable. The stones no longer follow rules. Travelers are slipping through without control. Jemmy is seeing visions of people who haven't been born yet. Roger hears his own voice echoing from decades into the future. And Jaime begins to feel himself fading. Not physically, but in history. His presence, his legacy is being erased, altered, rewritten by something, or someone, pulling the strings across centuries. It's revealed that Jaime was never supposed to survive Culloden, we knew this. But what we didn't know is that his survival, his life with Claire, their children, all of it, is part of a ripple effect caused by Claire's original time travel. A ripple that was meant to be corrected. And now the timeline is fighting back. Some theorize the villain behind it all is another traveler, sent by forces unknown to restore the true history. And this traveler sees Jaime as the anomaly that must be removed forever. But Claire won't let him go without a fight. In the leaked script notes, there's a moment where Claire returns to the stones alone. She holds something in her hands. Faith's necklace, the last thing she had before she vanished. She begs the stones to give her one more chance, and they answer. The final battle is not on a battlefield. It's in time. A race to fix the fracture. Claire and Jaime must journey one last time, but they can't go together. Only one of them can travel through. Only one of them can set things right. And here comes the heartbreak Jaime offers himself. He tells Claire he's not afraid, that he's already lived a life most men could never dream of. That loving her, raising their children, building a family that was enough. Let me be the ghost. That gives you peace, he says. Claire refuses. She begs. She screams. But time once again does not wait. The final scenes, according to insiders, will wreck us. Jaime walks into the stones, and just like that, he's gone. Not dead. Not truly. But lost to time, his fate left uncertain. A whisper in the past. A shadow in Claire's memory. She returns to her family. Brianna, Roger, Jaime, and Faith. But she's not the same. She's strong. She's broken. She's Claire Fraser, forever marked by love loss and the mystery of time. And so Outlander ends not with answers, but with echoes. Echoes of Jaime's voice in the wind, of Faith's laughter in a century that should never have known her, of a woman who crossed time for love and paid the price. Season 8 is more than an ending, it's a reckoning. And if the leaks are true, we aren't ready for how it ends. Because when the stones close, they don't open again.